Hey there everybody, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Puborama, and in today's video, we are back at it again with another deal or no deal in Grand Theft Auto Online. This might be the biggest week of deals and discounts I've ever seen in GTA Online. Some of these cars are really fantastic deals that I would suggest to get your hands on. Some of them I wouldn't suggest. Hopefully today's video is going to help you out on a guide to what maybe fits your criteria. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. As always, we're going to start off with the two freebies. We have the Mamba, which is a sports classic. I actually think it looks amazing. It's obviously based off the Shelby Cobra, and this week it's a little painful to earn. You have to finish 5 days in a row 3rd place. Not too hard, but to be fair, this is only like a $1 million car, and for that amount of effort, you could probably just do one Cayo Perico heist and buy the vehicle. So if you really want the car, I just suggest to buy it, but I mean, it's still free, and if you like racing, it's something to do. We also have, for the casino wheel spin, the Comet SR. This is actually what my personal one looks like. I think it looks really sweet in black. SR is just a super sweet looking car, and yeah, I mean, if you can get it for free, what is there not to like? Now, if you're wondering why we have a giant jet just kind of sitting in the background, that is because the Volatile, I don't really know how to pronounce it with a little anime stuff, is also on sale this week, followed by another group of Warstock vehicles. Would I suggest to buy this plane? No, it's pretty useless. You're never going to use it. I mean, it looks cool, but that's about as far as it gets. You're probably never, ever going to use it, so yeah, don't spend your money on that vehicle. So let's start off with the 3 Southern San Andreas. First of all, we have the Hermes. I think this is based off the Hudson Hornet. I might be wrong. You can let me know in the comments, but it's a pretty cool looking vehicle. Personally, it's not my style, and it's not the fastest muscle car. It's quick, but it's not the fastest group. I mean, heck, even the BF Weevil is quite a bit faster, but it is not slow by any means. It's got decent handling, and I do think it looks really, really cool. So if you're just looking for a fun muscle car to buy, the Hermes can definitely be what you're looking for, but oh boy, turning wise, it is a muscle car after all. I think the Hermes is pretty sweet. Sometimes there's pretty lame cars that I would say not to actually think about buying, but if you like the look of the Hermes, it's not a super expensive vehicle normally at like, I think 600,000, so on sale, it's a heck of a lot cheaper, and I wouldn't actually say too bad of a deal. Next up, we have the Sentinel Classic. I really like the look of all old BMWs, and personally, this is just one I really, really like the look of. Unfortunately, the sticker bomb kind of ruins the aesthetic of the car, but I do think that this is a really nice looking vehicle, especially if you bring it to maybe Benny's. I know that you can get a wide body version of this vehicle, which also looks really freaking sick. But yeah, it's just a fun car. It's a sports after all. It's not a sports classic, which you might think because of the classic name, but we also have like the Jester Classic, which is obviously based off the Supra. So yeah, it's just a fun little Beamer that you can drive around, do some burnouts, and enjoy if you like this type of vehicle. I wouldn't say that it's a bad deal or necessarily a good deal. It really just depends on what type of car you like. But for me personally, heck yeah, I'm definitely going to be picking this up this week. As you can see, I'm almost up to $200 million, and then I'm going to be doing a stream of me spending all my money. Now, this vehicle here is a must buy. This is the Canis Camacho. It's based off the Jeep Gladiator, and it just looks amazing. This is what my personal Camacho looks like here. And I mean, how can you not like the look of this thing? First of all, it's one of the fastest off-roaders, going at a top speed of like 117, which is really fast. As well, it is fantastic at off-roading. It's got great handling, and I mean, the vehicle just looks amazing. It's also super cheap. I think I read it was like $317,000 on sale this week, which is really, really dang cheap. So if you don't own the Camacho, this isn't really one that I would suggest to buy. It's just a must buy. I would highly, highly recommend to put this in your garage this week. What do we have next? Well, let's make our way over to Legendary Motorsport, starting off with the Vapid Hustler. This is a vehicle I don't really care much about, I'm going to be honest. It's a hot rod, and I mean, if you like hot rods, then sure, this'll suit your style. Personally, I don't love hot rods, so obviously this is not going to be a car I personally would recommend. The other problem with this vehicle is that its handling is just awful. I mean, you can see here, very slightly turning it, and the thing goes into a death spin, and yeah, it's not a very enjoyable vehicle to drive. It's probably not one you're going to pull out all too often, but to what I'm aware, it does actually feature a decent top speed, which makes sense. I mean, it's literally just an engine and a couple wheels, and that's about it. So the Hustler's fun. I wouldn't say fun enough for me to drop 500 grand or whatever it cost, but hey, maybe, just maybe, I will be convinced in my live stream when I'm spending a bunch of money to buy this car. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't even know what I'm going to spend my money on, but this is definitely a car that is very low on my priority list of what I want to buy. Next up, we have the GT500. I think it's Dubacci, if I'm not mistaken. It's a Grotti, darn. I always get them wrong. Now, this is, I'm pretty sure, based off of a Ferrari. I'm not exactly sure which Ferrari, but I know that this is a very, very sexy car in GTA. It's a sports classics. It's got a decent top speed, pretty good handling, and I think it just looks amazing. I personally love sports classics, so obviously, for a person like me, this is a car I would definitely think about picking up, especially because it is on sale this week. I just really love the look of this car. In real life, this is like a $20 million Ferrari, but obviously in GTA, it's a little bit different. Would I suggest to pick this one up? Heck yeah, if you like sports classics, why not? I mean, it's on sale. It's not too expensive of a vehicle as it is, if I'm not mistaken, so yeah, not a bad deal at all. Do you guys like my wonderful parking jobs? Next up, we have a vehicle that, again, is just a must-buy. This is the Viserys, I don't know how you pronounce it. All I know is that it's based off a Pantera de Tomaso, which is an absolutely stunning-looking sports car in real life. I mean, this thing literally looks like a modern car, which is impressive. When you look at sports classics in GTA and you're like, wow, this could actually be a modern supercar, that's when you realize just how innovative some of these cars are in GTA and as well were in real life. This car not only has one of the highest top speeds for the sports classics class, but it just looks amazing, and it's not even that expensive. So judging that it's on sale, I would just say you really kind of have to buy this vehicle. If you don't, you'd kind of be a fool to pass up such an amazing looking vehicle and one that handles so well for the sports classic class. Next up, we have one of two only supercars, this one being the Overflawed Autarch. I love the look of this vehicle. I love the sound of this vehicle. It's just such a unique supercar in GTA. It's really the only supercar that looks like this. It's got a great top speed. It's got absolutely fantastic handling. And because of that, I think it's still not only one of the 10th fastest supercars in the game, but as well, it's got in the top 10 lap times. It's just a fantastic car. I mean, you can see here, we're able to easily swerve in and out of traffic, which, I mean, it's not a super impressive feat, but the car's got fantastic handling. This is definitely a vehicle that if you don't own, I would suggest to pick up. I'm pretty sure I actually own one of these myself, just because it is such a nice vehicle. Next up, we have the Ocelot Pariah. I'm not going to bother driving the Pariah. I mean, you all probably own this vehicle as it is, and if you don't, just buy it. It's the fastest sports car basically in the game next to the Furia, and it's cheap. It's like 1.3 million normally, so if it's on sale for 700,000-800,000, just buy it. It's a must buy. It's you'd be a fool to ignore such an amazing sports car. Next up, we have the SC1. This is based off the BMW i8 Roadster, I think, and well, it's ugly. I'm gonna be honest. This is definitely one of the ugliest supercars in the game. As well, it has one of the worst lap times and top speeds for supercars in the game. With all those things in mind, would I suggest to buy this? No, I would suggest to stay very, very far away from the SC1 and not buy it. It's just an absolutely pointless supercar. I mean, I guess if you like the look of it, then, you know, go for it. But if you don't, and you're like me and you think it's kind of ugly, then don't pick it up. Alright, now we move on to the Khanjali. I'm not really going to bother driving the Khanjali because you already probably know all there is to know about it. But weirdly enough, where's my hatch? Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can see I have all my Warstock vehicles being painted in the money skin. But yeah, the Khanjali's a cool vehicle. It's it's a tank. I mean, I would suggest to buy it, especially because it's a really good vehicle. First of all, it can survive a lot of explosions, it can deal a lot of damage, and it's just a great vehicle in general to have a lot of fun in. So the fact that the Conjolly is on sale this week, pretty good buy. I would highly suggest to get. The RCV, no. Just no. It's absolutely useless. This is probably the most useless piece of turd in the game. I'm not even joking. Like, this thing sucks. Please do not buy the RCV. You're going to regret it. Now we move on to the Barrage. Now, the Barrage is actually a really cool vehicle. This thing can survive, like, if I'm not mistaken, last time I read 20 homing missiles, which is actually a lot. I might be wrong, but it might be able to survive that many. It's also a really good off-roader. It is in the military class, but it's basically an off-roader for all things considered, which makes it pretty fun to use. It's also got a minigun on the front. It's got a grenade launcher on the back, which is pretty sweet. So if you got some friends and you want to, cause some terror and menace around the streets, it's a fun vehicle. I wouldn't say there's anything special about the Barrage, apart from the fact that it's a semi-armored off-road vehicle that you can have a lot of fun in. Would I suggest to buy it? Not really, but hey, I mean, if you want to have some fun and have some armor in the process and off-road, not a bad buy at all. Finally, we have the Akula. This is, again, a must-buy. There's a lot of must-buys this week. Like, there are some really good deals. But the Akula is just fantastic. First of all, because it has the ability to go into stealth mode. You can see I've got my machine guns, or whatever you want to call them, miniguns, and I can put them away. And when I put them away, I go into stealth mode, which basically means you can see right here, I can't shoot any of my things. But I also can't be seen on the minimap, basically making me invulnerable. And then when I don't like somebody, I go, hello, stinky people, blah, 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 blah. And then you can just spam homing missiles at people or, use your machine guns. The Akula is really just a fantastic helicopter. And if you don't buy it, again, you'd be kind of a fool. I would suggest to take advantage of it while it is on sale this week. So, hopefully you enjoyed this week's Deal or No Deal. A lot of deals and discounts. And honestly, this is a really good discount week. So, yeah, if you enjoyed today's video and you'd like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. But other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. And let me just, a boom. And a boom. And a boom. Oh my god. We are just causing terror. Oh, that's great.